back with more Danny's Wasteland, and boy, do we have so much in store. We once again have new twisted forms, new boosted forms, new lore drops, a lot to unpack. Buckle up, and let's get straight on into it. As always, though, the biggest, fattest, juiciest shout out to Fizzy Boy, also known as Transportation OK 5843, who is the creator who has made everything in Danny's Wasteland. We would not have this without him. He makes everything, so please show this man some love on the Reddit, who will be linked twice in the description. We love you, Transportation. I always get so excited seeing this screen. Oh, let's go. All right, so we're starting off with some new twisted forms. As you can see right here, we have the person called the Thief, and we'll figure out a little bit more of how they act maybe later. Either way, this one looks like he's more of a stealthy, fast-moving twisted, and they actually have a different unofficial name. I forget what they're called because I haven't recorded one of these in a while. I'm sorry. Moving on, we have the the breaker looks demonic, dude. Oh my god. This is the type of twisted that you do not want to get on their bad side. They look like they can shove their fist so far down your throat that I don't want to see the end of it. It also kind of gives me R&D vibes. It's almost like what Razzle and Dazzle would look like if they separated. Coming up next, we have the Gentleman and Maiden. This is a little bit of an interesting. We got the 2-pie package here. They are so proper. As you can see, this one is literally in a full-on suit, and the Maiden has a full-on dress and a hat. So if there are multiple forms of these, or like if these are just one-off mutant variants, we don't know if they're one-off mutant variants or like I'm saying in masses, because if so, I wonder if they all kind of have their own different dress design, and if the clothes are a byproduct of the Iker infestation that manifests on them, or if this is how they originally dressed before they turned twisted. I don't know. Or like, does the Iker literally just form into the I don't know, but I like it. Moving on, we have the Maiden Morning. Okay, so now she's creepier. This reminds me once again of Box Girl. You know that creepy, like, little girl that has the black hair that comes out of the TV? I forget the canon name, but it looks, you know, something along these lines. Ew, get that off my screen, please. Moving on, we also have the Gentleman Morning, who honestly kind of looks a little bit like the Dasher, if I remember his name correctly, but I wonder what the morning means. Oh, you know what? Since they're two peas in a pod and they look kind of chill when they're next to each other, I bet they're mourning the loss of the other twisted. These two are probably always together, but they go into the morning freakazoid freak show mode whenever their SO, their significant other, gets got. Oh, okay. Moving on next, we got the Lobber. Dude, this straight up looks like the double pea shooter from Plants vs. Zombies. Sorry, no, it's called the split pea shooter. Are you telling me that the Lobber just doesn't look like this? Like, it kind of does. Not really, actually, now that I think about it. But it definitely looks like it could be a Plants vs. Zombies plant. Hey, yo, Crazy Dave. I got a new plant for you, pal. Moving up next, we have the Source. And the Source looks kind of like, I don't really know, but this seems like the tallest one we've seen. And does he have an eyeball? Yeah, that is a twisted eyeball on his freaking tail. What happened to you? How did you get here? And oh, that's his arm. I was gonna say, I looked like he had a cape. No, that's just the Source's arm. And coming up next, we have the original, the main characters of the Danny's Wasteland world running for their freaking lives from the Twisted Wave, which is awesome. Guys, get the heck out of there. Don't let him get you. And there's so many twisted eyeballs. Imagine trying to hide from this guy. Only Astro and Connie would be able to hide from this man. With that being said, oh wow, we got a nice cool art of the Breaker about to literally Falcon punch my socks off. So, please don't. And then up next, we have Goob and his blots. Okay, cool. So apparently this is self-explanatory. I wouldn't have known that if this was self-explanatory. Either way, I had a cute thought where Goob gains a small cult following of blots simply by being himself and randomly helping blots when he thinks they need it. So I'm assuming, by the way, okay, so these are all not called twisteds. They're called blots. That's right. I was being an idiot. These are all blots. With that being said, though, I'm assuming it's when they're in their lesser forms, or, you know, definitely when, like, the Gentleman and the Maiden aren't in morning form. But I probably won't use this either, since it would mean making more characters for one squad, which is fair, which means you would have to go back and change the squad. Which, if you haven't been caught up with the Danny's Wasteland, there is like 5 other episodes of the Wasteland. Go ahead and check those out and come back here. Moving on, we have Cubert, who is basically like essentially the traveling merchant of this world, except this is him not having his cloak. As you can see right here, Cubert is a calm, chill, easygoing kind of guy. Life in the wasteland for him ain't that bad. He's always looking out for any goods to help himself, to others, as well as to help others. Because if we remember, Cuber was a guy who was like legitimately trying to help other toons in the wasteland. You know what I mean? If you didn't buy items from him the few times you ran into him, he's not like Dandy. He actually wants to help you. Because if you don't buy items from him multiple times in a row, he's like, are you sure? Like, you don't need it? You might. Hey, I can cut you a deal. He's like that kind of a guy. Despite his general kindness, well, there you go, to the toons, he's adamant about never staying tied down to one place for them. Always on the move for reasons he won't say. Now that is a little bit suspicious, I will be honest. Maybe he just likes to move himself, or he might be getting hunted down. Is someone after Cubert? His trade center is only ever fair, considering just about anything could be useful whether you know it or not. While he cares about the toons, he's never one to bargain with. Don't bother trying to get a discount out of him. And from my understanding of Cubert, I think the reason why you should never try to squeeze a discount out of him is mainly for the reason that, well, frankly, he's already giving you a really good deal in the first place. So why would you try to ruin such a good relationship? Moving on from that, we have Gibby. Gibby is the most airheaded blot. Okay. Cubert has blots. Okay. And the most loyal. He follows orders to the letter. So Gibby is like a literal blot dog. He follows orders to the letter and won't break away from them for anything. When not being ordered around, he's curious and often stares into space. Gibby is a mimic who can change into any regular toon he's told to. He's unable to turn into twisted mimics and has a reference for Goober Sprout and has preference for Goober Sprout. So I guess right now we're kind of just seeing what the pet blobs in the game are. We got Gibby. Yep. Coming up next, we got Wilson. So yeah, I guess Cubert has multiple blots. This is what's going on. I guess they seem to be like his homies. These are his homies. The quietest blot Cubert has, Wilson is almost never seen away from Cubert. He sticks close all times and doesn't do much other than stare and sleep. But in a fight, he's attentive and aware of everything, sometimes pulling Cubert out of danger before he even realizes. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so a lot of these blots seem to have personalities similar to that whole gang that was with Goo. Wilson doesn't change into creatures. He instead changes into weapons and tactical apparel for Cubert to fight with. Wilson doesn't have a preference and changes to whatever he's told. He changes? This guy can turn into freaking weapons? What does tactical apparel even mean? Can Cubert tell him to turn into a freaking nuke or something? What the heck? I mean, alright, fair enough. Up next we have Abigail, or Abby, the most mischievous of the three, or mischievous, however you want to pronounce it. Abby is a very clever and sneaky blot, often using her intelligence to mess around with Cubert and the others. When push comes to shove, she's incredibly fierce and protective of her team and would do almost anything for them. Abby can change into other blot variations on command. She has a preference for a chaser or a breaker. So these small little blots somehow have the ability to transform themselves into like these other forms of blots. If, for example, she's a mischievous one, she likes to turn into this guy. How does that even make sense? But that is so cool. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Dude, Cubert's kind of balling out. As you can see here, oh my gosh. I never want to get on Cubert's bad side. His rage/hatred face looks scary. He's based around letter blocks. So these four playtime letter blocks, depending on how he's feeling, the color side will change with his expression. He constantly tries to hide this fact and keeps his face to its usual green. So is this one green? That looks yellow. That definitely looks yellow. But I guess, is green just neutral? I guess green, yeah, it's just constantly neutral. And he's trying to hide the fact that his color dictates its mood. Despite having no extra faces on each side, his face will always miraculously be there when it switches around. Wait, so his head like spins on a pendulum? Ha! Either way, as you can see, yellow is happy, red is angry/annoyed, purple is confused or uncomfortable, and as you can see and assume, just the one eye, rage/hatred, which, as far as we know, no one's ran into rage/hatred Cupid. But he does not rock with Dandy. as you can see, while they have a silent agreement to keep their distance, Dandy has tried to press Cubert for information on where the toons are. He tired? I'm assuming that means he tried. Either way, if we remember, Dandy was very suspicious, and I'm pretty sure Dandy did start the breakout in the Wasteland. As you can see right here, he says, I've been really busy recently with the whole world getting messed up and such. That might have been my fault, actually, but don't worry. Once I get things sorted, everything will be right as rain. And in case you don't know, he gets the Iker taste. He literally drinks Iker. He has it. So yeah, Danny started the outbreak and presses Cubert for where all the other toons are. And it makes sense why Cubert doesn't like him, because he knows that Dandy is a freaking monster. And we can see a cool drawing of the box Connie, who's just a wanderer. Here's Cubert. Is this Cubert? Oh yeah, Cubert and Dandy dapping each other up, who are becoming canon. So Dandy is actually canon, and then Cubert is canon within inside of this world. Very awesome stuff. Moving on from that, before we go into the new fun and interesting boosteds and whatnot, here we have a lovely jubbly taste of Dandy's world versus Dandy's Wasteland. So in the canon for Finn is often makes puns around toons. His plastic fish is in his head. His speed boost only works with machines. He doesn't have a fishing rod, and he's missing a tooth. And in the alternative universe, in the Dandy's Wasteland, Finn lost Barnaby, occasionally makes puns. Speed boost only works when taking damage. Okay, so he has Poppy's ability in the Wasteland. Keeps fishing rod around constantly, and his tooth has been replaced. Apparently, Canon Finn would get along just fine with his counterpart. They would go back and forth with so many fish puns. In the Wasteland, and just the way Canon Finn is, I totally imagine this. I totally see this. Finn is just a goofy guy, and I feel like he's easy to get along with. And as you can see, Finn meeting his canon self would be nice. Would be a nice time for Finn. It would remind him of how grateful he is for what he has. And here is canon Toodles compared to our alternative universe. In the canon, no special dice, has no combat experience, unknown detective skills, and his unconfirmed relationship Roger. Yeah, it's unconfirmed, but everyone speculates that he's like the father figure to her. Either way, in the alternative universe, her luck works differently. It does. Her magic dice are actually magical that can cause things to happen. She has a minor combat experience, has minor detective skills, and father-daughter relationship with Roger, which is what we all think is true inside of the Wasteland. Transportation believes that Canon Toodles would be slightly upset her counterpart is taller than her. Other than that, I'm sure they would get along great. I bet they would too, because Toodles obviously wants to be a little detective. She wants to grow up fast. She wants to be like Roger. And in the alternative universe, Toodles would be very happy to meet her canon self. It gives her a playmate and someone who could understand her greatly. She definitely teased about being the taller one. Well, of course, it already looks like Toodles is extremely upset about it. And of course, here's Goob. In the canon, unknown if capable of anger. In the alternative universe, he is capable of getting angry, and he has a longer stretch range, which does make him weak in close combat. And in canon, I imagine Canon Goob wouldn't care or mind his counterpart. It's just a slight bigger him after all. And there's such a little change of personality that Goob would just consider his canon self a pocket-sized tip. They would get along great. It's Goob. I don't know what you expected. That is exactly what I expected. I don't know in what universe in the Wasteland, like if you change Goob too much, I feel like you're just asking to have haters. With that being said, jabronis, let's move on to the next doodles. I'm hoping we get some new boosteds in here. And guess what? You bet your top dollar we did. Let's get into it. So in case you don't know, the way boosting works inside of the Dandy's Wasteland, I'll explain it really fast. Basically, toons purposely inject themselves with a small amount of Iker, which then turns them into their own quote-unquote boosted form, giving them own special unique powers, somewhat related to their personality. Sometimes they lash out. Boosted Scrap's tail gets temporarily repaired and turned into a method of attacking as Iker sharpened the edges. Her hands and claws are lightly coated as well, giving her scratches more range. Wait, how? I can't envision that. Like, her claws have range? How can claws have range? I have no idea. Thankfully, due to her tolerance, Scrap's mentality isn't altered much during a boost, which is really good. We have heard and we've seen about some toons literally just going absolutely cuckoo when they go twisted and in their boosted form. However, she breaks into a slime through the duration. She claims she doesn't know she's smiling while boosted. So yeah, she's also like the protagonist from Fire Force, where they have that weird smirk. Scraps is prone to running on all fours while boosted, and once again, in this world, she refused to be cat-like, but literally has so many cat-like features. This does allow her to move faster and leap farther, but it's a little scary to watch. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to witness that. Outside of fight, Scraps doesn't do much. She can still be talked to and given company, so it's best to just wait out the boost. I feel like you really shouldn't talk to a boosted toon anyways. That's my opinion. Oh my gosh, that's creepy. Scraps, I would love if you stopped looking at me like that. Like what? This is the most Scraps thing ever. This is hilarious. Boosted Gigi looks freaking awesome. Gigi Boost lets a single Ica arm sprout from her head. The limb encased itself around her. Booster orb was electrified. Dude, I would not want to get smacked in the face with that. That's like a Rasen gun smack straight to the face. Gigi becomes super loopy and a bit silly when boosted, making it difficult for her to focus on the fight. It's hard to tell if she's in any actual pain. Wait, that's weird. Wait, why would you say that? Why did she get... Do these toons get hurt all the time? I don't like that. With the limb electrified, it's able to charge machines and batteries as well as shoot lightning from the fingertips. GG is freaking Zeus. All right, guys, everyone pull out your Greek history textbooks. Everyone, we're taking a lesson on boosted Gigi, though it takes time to charge. It's very important to monitor Gigi outside a fight. Otherwise, she's likely to wander off aimlessly. Yeah, sounds about right. I am the goddess of light. She is Zeus. She is freaking Zeus, I told you. Hear my thunderous cry. Gigi, no. By the way, these title screens are like these animations, or rather pictures. Oh, transportation. These are so good. And here's boosted Flutter. Flutter's wings lightly grow in size when entering a boost. It allows her to endure higher speeds when flying and increases her durability. Okay. Flutter's talk box malfunctions more often while boosted. That also could just be her mind, with the screeches of static becoming louder and louder. The box itself isn't damaged. Whatever's happening has something to do with Flutter. Yeah, her mind's probably like blanking, bruh. Flutter typically resorts to ramming her enemies at high speed or dropping them with terminal heights. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so she is a demon. Her personality becomes very moody while boosted, often leading to her verbally lashing out if she can. What? Can you imagine Flutter verbally assaulting someone? I can't imagine that at all, but that's one of the funniest thoughts ever, bruh. This toon right here that literally canonly cannot speak when they get boosted lashes out on people. Oh man, that's golden. She doesn't mean to be so aggressive, and the smartest thing to do is give her space. Yeah, she can have whatever she wants. And as you can see, wow. Drink cement, you stemless rainbow weed. Flutter, what's gotten into you? And here's a picture of Dandy crying. And a casual reminder that Astro is the second strongest toon in the universe, right behind Dandy. And here's a list of some of his powerful abilities. He can do Star Ride, Meteor Shower, Crescent Sickle. Dude, they have literal freaking superpowers, bruh. They're like, this is so cool. I love Danny's Wasteland so much. And here's Sprout Falcon punching me. Hey, take it easy. And then it looks like Astro and V doing like their own version of Hollow Purple. What the flip? And with that is where we're gonna go ahead and cap off this episode of Dandy's Wasteland. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please go show your love and support to Transportation. Seriously, he's so cool and he makes great work. It's awesome, and I appreciate him letting us look at this stuff online. With that being said, jabronis, I appreciate you guys all watching Danny's Wasteland episodes, and I think we have enough for another full episode, but that one might be the last one. Either way, stay tuned, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys soon.